Mayor of the City and County of Limerick, Councillor James Collins, Minister for Trade, Employment and Business, EU Digital Single Market and Data Protection, Pat Breen TD, Minister for Public Procurement, Open Government and E-Government, Patrick O'Donovan TD, Chief Executive of IDA, Martin Shanahan, public representatives, invited guests, colleagues, neighbours, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is John Lynch and I'm the plant leader here at Vision Care Ireland. And I'd like to start by welcoming you all here this morning for today's significant announcement. And I'm delighted that so many of you could be with us here today. I'd also like to extend a warm welcome to our Vision Care and surgical colleagues and our J&J colleagues. So without further ado, I'd like to call on Minister Breen to come to the podium to make the announcement.
Good morning, everybody. Delighted to be back here again. We were here Friday with more good news, and it's great to have even better news again this morning from an existing company. And I want to thank everybody in Johnson & Johnson for inviting me here this morning to make the official announcement. Can I first of all acknowledge the presence of John Lynch, plant manager here, to Barry O'Sullivan down there at the back, very shy Barry down there, and also to my good friend, my ministerial colleague Patrick O'Donovan, I should have left out the Mayor, unfortunately. James, how are you? We're meeting a lot lately as well, Mayor of Limerick, James Collins.
You're welcome every day.
And also to my good friends Kieran O'Donnell and other public representatives that are here this morning. You're all very welcome to Johnson & Johnson for this really good news announcement by this, I suppose, what I say, top blue chip company, one of the best in the world, making a further announcement here in Limerick. I also want to commend the company for its, first of all, its presence here since 1993 and its continued growth and expansion in the Midwest. And to me, that is a real vote of confidence in the Midwest region. And I want to thank everybody in Johnson & Johnson for their presence here and for their continued expansion. As well, it also underscores the value of the incentive that this government had put into place for balanced regional development. And I want to acknowledge the work by the IDA, particularly Martin Shanahan. Martin, I know that I mentioned at the start. Martin, thank you very much for the work you have been doing for creating foreign investment in Ireland. Good times and in the bad times, you've been there, and I know the work that you put into it, because I know the work that it doesn't happen overnight. It goes on and on and on. And I know the competition that you have from other countries as well, even from across the channel. Because, you know, when you look at it, the Midwest region is still a very small region compared to some of the bigger cities in the world that are looking for the same type of investment. So I want to commend the IDA in that as well. Also from Johnson & Johnson, Barry O'Sullivan. What can I say about Barry? He has overseen the growth of J&J, Contact Lens Manufacturing Division here. And of course, Barry is well known for his tireless work as chair of the Midwest Regional Enterprise Plan, and also being a member of the IDA board. And I know, Barry, your contribution on the Midwest Regional Enterprise Plan is really acknowledged by everybody in the department, because these regional enterprise plans are really important for us, particularly for balanced regional development. And of course, your presence on the IDA as well, where I know that you're a key member of the board, is really important also. So I thank you for that, for not just your commitment here to Johnson & Johnson, but your commitment to the entire region, to ensure that this region grows as fast as other regions in the country. Today's announcement is a fantastic announcement. 100 new jobs, 100 million euros investment in the plant here. That's a sign of confidence, and that's a sign of what I suppose Johnson & Johnson see about Ireland and see about the region here as well. And this will bring the headcount to employees here to over 1,000 people in Johnson & Johnson. And of course, this is in addition to the thousands of other jobs that you have around the country as well. And I want to thank you for that continued confidence in Ireland. It's really important to us foreign direct investment has been really important to us, particularly in the bad times, but we're over those bad times now, hopefully, and you've continued to grow. And of course, a key feature, and I was talking to Martin Shannon about this, about foreign direct investment, a key feature of Ireland's success in attracting foreign direct investment here is that many projects and job announcements are actually expansions of existing companies already here that have operations here, such as today's really good announcement. And of course, a success like that is driven by its employees, the parent company, and when you have a very good employees, that parent company is happy to grow and it's also happy to expand. And that is something I think that's often overlooked in the country as well. We talk about new jobs, but I was talking to Martin about there, he says nearly 65% of new jobs of the IDA are from companies that are already here in this country and that are growing because of their commitment to this country. So I suppose success and profitability are generated by a talented workforce, and we have a really good, talented workforce here in this country, and that leads, of course, to further success and, of course, to new investments as what we've seen here this morning. So I'm glad to see it's happening here. Overseas companies, ladies and gentlemen, like Johnson & Johnson, are creating jobs and opportunities, exporting tens of billions of goods and services annually, and contributing, which is very important for us in government, is to the government revenue. And of course, what's really important for us in our department is supporting innovation right across the country. And that innovation is key for us to ensure that we continue for existing companies to grow and for new companies as well. I think our efforts in continuing to win FDI investment is aided, of course, by the fact that Ireland has a lot to offer to investors as well. In addition to the steps we've taken to improve our competitiveness, and competitiveness is really important out there, and of course to ensure that we have the necessary skills in place no matter where you go. And I've travelled to Silicon Valley and to Seattle to meet some of the big great companies that we have here in Ireland, and they all talk about the same thing: the availability of talent, the skills, the quality of life in Ireland, access to the single market, 450 million people. All these are really important, and of course we have really good predictable legal and regulatory framework as well, which companies see as a great value. Our reputation, ladies and gentlemen, as a good place to do business is out there. I know it from the trade missions I do. Ireland is a very good business environment. We have a very young, good, educated, highly skilled, multilingual workforce out there. As I said, we have access to the EU markets, youngest population in the EU, and of course we have a strong incentive in research and development. And of course, as I said, it's a really good place to do business. Our track record speaks for itself. We're the home for many global businesses, and a source of continued new investments as well. And as a government, ladies and gentlemen, we want to encourage and support all the regions out there. We want to encourage and support our cities. We want to encourage and support our towns, and of course, above all else, communities, which are really important. And of course, to achieve this economic and social success, it's important for the regions, but it's also important from the social point of view as well. We look at, I suppose, at the results of the IDA last year, and I want to praise them once again, because if you look at how important the region is in balanced regional development, last year the IDA saw the greatest, I suppose, largest regional employment growth in 17 years. 58% of new jobs created were outside of the Dublin area. They also exceeded their target in the government's FDI strategy from 2015 to 2019. And I want to thank you for that, Martin. It's really important. Against all the challenges out there, you've continued to grow jobs and create new jobs in the country. And I know that there are challenges this year, but you're looking at those challenges, and I know you will continue to ensure that we have investments in the country, just as we did in Limerick on Friday and today as well. And of course, we're looking at Project 2040 for Ireland as well, which was funded and costed through Patrick Donova's department, and that will continue to ensure that we will continue to attract investment into the country as well. But of course, that ambition is underpinned by other government initiatives as well. In February this year, Minister Humphreys and myself launched a new refreshed and refocused regional action plan for the Midwest, and this will build on the previous good work that's been done by the previous players. And I see Orla here this morning as well, and Barry, who are part of that. And the purpose of this new plan is to refresh and refocus the regional enterprise plan. A plan that will, I suppose, further build on the regional collaboration that was fostered by the Action Plan for Jobs up to a period of 2020. Remember, when we launched that plan, we said we'd create 200,000 jobs by 2020, 135,000 of those outside of Dublin. We've already exceeded that last year, and I think that's going to improve. But of course, that is taking into account the changed and the improved economic circumstances and environment that are out there as well. But as against that as well, there's new challenges for enterprise development and competitiveness, both domestically and internationally, and that of course is Brexit and of course the trade wars as well. I believe that the regional enterprise plans provide a perspective and ideas from growing jobs from the ground up. I suppose they understand the importance of local strengths and the assets, and have a potential to enable more effective translation of national policy into regional and local impact. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to see that that collaboration between government, between the multinationals, between the agencies is working really well. When you look at the CSO figures last year, you see that our unemployment rate is now at 5.4%, almost at full employment. And the central bank forecast earlier this week that unemployment would be at about 5% before the end of the year. But of course, we must never rest on our laurels. Yes, unemployment is at 11% low, and this is significantly below the Eurozone average. And I'm particularly pleased to see, of course, what's really important is that the rate of unemployment, of youth unemployment, continues to fall. But getting back, ladies and gentlemen, to today's news, this is really good news for the region. 200 jobs in the construction, 100 new jobs, continued investment in innovation, robotics here for this great blue chip company, and I want to commend everybody associated with this as well. We all know that 33% of the world's contact lenses are made here in Ireland. Just one statistic from many of the other medical technology statistics I could give out here. But these contact lenses are made here, right here in the Midwest region in Limerick, and of course the amount of research and innovation that goes in here and development into ensuring that you're up to date with the whole changes that are coming in that area, John, is something that we admire as well. So I just want to say to you before I finish, I want to assure you and to assure the idea as well that the government will continue to help you on your journey. And again, thank you very much indeed for that. I'm delighted to make this really good announcement here in the Midwest today. I'm sure Martin is maybe the second of many more for this year, hopefully, against this difficult environment I talked about.
4 days, Pat.
Yeah, so third did better again, so I hope we'll have more. As the weather improves, I'm sure we'll have more to do. So thank you very much, and thanks to everybody involved. It's a great announcement, great for the region, and it's just exactly what we need. And I think this will continue to grow because companies that don't innovate will evaporate, and innovation is very much the mission of this company here. Thank you very much.